What's up, guys? It's Gothic, aka Sam, and today, I know it has been forever. I am so sorry about that. I was in school, that took over my life, and then I had finals, and that took over my life. And then I went on vacation for a week, and that took over my life, and now I am back until June 1st, and then work will take over my life. But until then, I'm going to keep trying to put out videos, and it's going to be fun. But we are back with Asagao Academy. It has been so long. I had to watch my own video to figure out what was going on. But we finally are back. So let's get to it. Hana. Something about the tone of her voice worried me. I set down my fork. I have something to tell you. Please don't be mad at me or anything. I wasn't trying to keep it a secret from you. It's never gone well when I told people in the past. I didn't want that to happen here, too. We're friends. You have unquestioningly had my back this entire time. You deserve the same in return. I smiled at her, and she sheepishly glanced away. Yeah, well, She swallowed. I have kleptomania. I stared at her. Then something clicked into place. Oh. Despite my best effort, my surprise slipped through. Mai stared at me, her eyes wide with an emotion I rarely saw in her. Fear. I smiled again, hoping to calm her. That wasn't so bad, was it? That's no big deal. Isn't it? I was so happy when you told me you trusted me that I didn't take the boots. Please leave me still. I would never take something so important, and definitely not from my friends. I mean, I have before, but I really try not to. I can't control myself, but I try not to, and I didn't this time, please. What? Back? How do I go back? Save? Okay. Nope. Back. Turn! The smile slid off my face. Kleptomania. I never heard of it discussed as more than a joke. Terrible justification for something another person did. It was the compulsion to steal, wasn't it? And usually people were too ashamed to admit they took anything. I think. So Mai wouldn't have told me this if she really took the boots. Would she? Was she just easing her conscience? That would explain why she got so defensive when I asked her whether she took them. It would also explain why she defended me so viscerally. Because she felt responsible for what I was suffering through. But she wouldn't take anything from the people she cared about. Wait. My Turby pen. It was in her desk. I thought it was just misplaced, but she took it. You won't tell anyone, right? Mai trusted me enough to tell me what she was dealing with. And she was my friend. She never did me any harm. Well, not intentionally. I should keep her secret on principle. Friends do that for other friends. But what if she really did take the boots? What was this if this was her way of asking for help? Even if she didn't, shouldn't Satch at least know about this? He was investigating the situation out of the kindness of his heart. He could use all the help he could get. Wouldn't he need to know this? I'll keep your secret. No. Mai was my friend. If she wanted to tell Satch, that was her business, not mine. I won't tell anyone unless you want me to. Hana. Thank you. Mai hurled herself around her desk and into my arms. Whoa, no problem. No, really, thank you. I know things look bad now, but we're on each other's side. As long as we can rely on each other, nothing else matters. Yeah. You're right. As the clock neared the end of lunch, Mai stood up and took my tray. I'll take these back. Oh, thank you. No problem. She left, her footsteps a calmly measured march. She seemed to be feeling better. Maybe everything would work out. I hope so. One by one, students filtered into the classroom. I caught my eyes on my desk, running across the grooves in the worn wood. What wouldn't it feel like to run my hands across it? I wanted to find out, but I was too afraid to move. Hana. I flinched at the sound of my name on another student's lips. The heat of several pair of eyes lay thick on my face like a ray of sunlight. I didn't want to look at them. I couldn't look at them. The grooves in my desk were really interesting, looping and swirling around. If it were a canyon, I'd fly a plane through it. They probably weren't looking at me. In all likelihood, I was imagining all of this. Yeah. Yeah, how stupid of me, as if I were the center of the world. Silly Hana. She stole, but she looks so docile. This was way too familiar. Suddenly I felt lightheaded, as if my mind was no longer tethered to my body. Instead, I was floating up along the ceiling of the room to the place people feel when they roll their eyes in the back of their heads. A familiar scene played out before me. You're so selfish. You think you're better than us? No. Look at this girl. Who does she think she is? Say something. Ow. I was cowering on the floor next to my desk. It was after school. I'd come to the classroom to get a textbook I'd forgotten, and I'd run into 3 girls. 3 girls who used to be my friends. You copied off my test, didn't you? No, I didn't. Why would I? How did you get to be top of the class, then? And how did you manage to catch Naomi's boyfriend, eh? You've been sleeping around, haven't you? No, I haven't. You guys know I wouldn't do that. Pfft, liar. No wonder, too. Her mother wasn't around to teach her proper manners. Huh. But her mom taught her how to sleep around. Have you seen her father? Ah! I was standing. The book I threw lay on the opposite end of the classroom. Naomi, having ducked to avoid it. For an instant, they looked up at me in fear. Then Melissa started laughing. Oh, wow, you're right. A bastard child from a bastard family. She'll never amount to much. But I feel so threatened now. I think I'll tell the principal what happened. No, wait, I'm sorry. Please don't. You don't mind cleaning up for us, then? We couldn't clean the classroom because another student attacked us. And we were all such good friends. Why would we lie about this? I moved to the utility closet at the back of the room and grabbed a broom. That a girl. Guess she learned something from her mother after all. Hana, are you okay? You're shaking. I opened my mouth to respond, only for my teeth to start chattering.
Class?
Okay, class. Today we're going to... I raised my hand. Hana, what is it? The bathroom. Emergency, please. Alright, but be quick about it. I headed for the door, feeling as though I was moving through ether. The 3 familiar green jackets didn't move a muscle as I shut it behind me. The hallway passed before me in a blur. All I could hear was the sound of my own breathing and the blood pounding in my head. I reached the restroom. A quick glance told me it was empty. All stalls were open. I picked one and rushed in, slamming the door and closing the lid of the toilet. Then I sat, pulling my knees up to my chest. I hate this. Deep breaths, Hana. Deep breaths. Calm down. You're in a bathroom. You're at Asagao. Look, your uniform's different. The door is locked and no one's going to crawl under it like last time. You're safe. Calm down. Deep breaths. As I breathed, my eyes wandered across the sterile gray tile and thick metal walls separating the stalls. It really did look different from my old school. There wasn't even graffiti on the back of the doors. How in the world would Terry let people know that she and Bobby would be together forever now? I giggled. Pull yourself together, Hana. This isn't the end of the world. Sure, things are bad, but...
You're my best friend now.
Oh, you're my best friend. Your score. That's incredible. No, the Hana I know would never hurt another person. I've already changed. But I'm still so... Ugh, what am I even doing here? Crying in a bathroom stall because people were whispering about me? Get a hold of yourself, Hana. Grow up. Do you want this to be it for the rest of your life? Every time there's even the slightest, someone is even the slightest bit mean to you, you run and hide, start crying and looking for someone to take the fall in your stead? What are you doing with yourself? This won't be my future. I unlocked and pushed open the door of the bathroom stall. My face, tear-stained and pink, stared back at me from the mirror. I'm going to change. Oops. From now on, I'm taking matters into my own hands. I will find the boots. I'll clear my name. Mice, too. And I'll find the missing books for Satch. He's been so kind to me, and I've been letting him take everything upon himself. But who does he have when things go bad? I want to be someone people can lean on. I want to be someone who can actually help other people. I rinsed my face in the sink and dabbed it with a rough paper towel. It's time that things change. I walked back into the classroom, shoulders squared and eyes staring straight ahead. Shizuka paused her lecture, waiting for me to take my seat. This time I could see the other students' heads turning, following my movement across the classroom. I ignored them. When I sat, Shizuka began teaching again, a slight smile on her face. When her back was turned, Mai tapped my shoulder. Are you okay? I turned to face her.
Yeah.
Better than ever. She smiled, but watched me for a few seconds. I tried to put as much of my resolve into my eyes as I could. I could do this. Finally, she nodded, and I turned to my classwork. First, I had to get through the class. After that, the library. Be strong, Hana. I entered the library, the slightly damp smell of old books and little sunlight tugging at my clothes. Bypassing clumps of students with their heads hung over their homework, I went straight to the front desk. Satch stood behind it, searching frantically for something in the piles of paper stacked along the back wall. He kept shaking his head and pausing, almost as if he were muttering to himself, running his hands over his hair. It was odd. He looked really stressed. That wasn't normal for him. I almost didn't want to interrupt, but I came here for a reason. Excuse me? He jumped slightly.
Hana.
Oh, Hana. How can I help you? When he smiled, it almost seemed as if nothing was wrong, even though that clearly wasn't the case. But the strangest thing was that the smile didn't seem disingenuous. He was truly smiling, happy or content about something. Satch would never ask for help, even if he needed it. Are you all right? You don't seem very well. Satch glanced around him before replying in a low whisper. More books have gone missing. Oh. Mine's not due for another few weeks, so at least I'm not the one hurting you this time. My joke fell flat as a dead raccoon. Satch's face caved in, and he stared at the counter in front of him. It's not looking good for me.
What?
What? What do you mean? He opened his mouth but didn't speak. After a pause, he began to chew his lip. Then something strange happened. He seemed to almost gather himself up. He took a deep breath, set his shoulder back, and smiled. Don't worry about it. Made my heart break. Wanted to crawl around the counter and give him a hug. Wanted to feel the weight of his head against my shoulder, something to help him unload the burdens he carried. But as I looked at his smile, I realized he didn't want me to. More than that, he didn't want me to. Maybe if I were Jared or Paul, but not Hana. Not right now, at least. Maybe during the flower festival, we were close enough to share some of our burdens, but now? Satch was struggling, and he didn't trust me enough to let me see it. My heart dropped. My neck grew hot. How exactly am I not supposed to worry about it? He waved a hand as if swatting away a fly. I'll be fine. No. Well, I have no doubt you'll be fine on your own, but... It was now or never. Maybe he didn't want my help, but he still needed it. I paused for a second, trying to find the best way to word my intentions.
Well,
You're already trying to help me, and you have so much on your plate. The least I can do is help you find the missing books. 2 heads are better than... No, really, that won't be necessary. Why not? I'm choking on nothing. Other people are here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. I'm your friend. I want to help you, Satch. Satch looked at me skeptically. He really didn't trust me, did he? I'm not going to give up on this. Really, Hana, that's very kind of you, but... He looked around him in desperation. I don't think that would be helpful. Please, just let me handle this. I've got everything under control, I swear. But... Satch glanced over his shoulder. I mean it.
Alright, be good.
I've got to get back to work. I'll see you later. Satch stepped out from behind the counter and went into a back room. The librarian waited there, a stern look on her face. I turned and started back through the thick aisles of books. Now what? If someone really didn't want your help, it was kind of bad to force yourself upon them. But the question was, did he really not want my help? I was sure it wasn't because he didn't want or need it. It was because for all he said, he believed I didn't take the boots. He didn't trust me. Not at all. As if telling me not to help is going to do anything. He's got another thing coming if that's what he thinks. Sometimes people just don't know what's best for them. Of course, I was assuming I knew better than he did about what he wanted, but I had to do something. I wasn't just going to sit around and wait while he was in trouble. It's not looking good for me. Whatever that meant, I had to make sure it didn't start looking any worse. And there. I snipped the blades of my scissors shut and a small book-shaped cutout fell into my lap. I set it onto its pile and rolled out my shoulders. Finally, 4 thick piles of multicolored construction paper sat neatly before me. My hands ached from cutting so much at once. I set the scissors aside and grabbed the permanent marker that sat on my desk along with the cloud-shaped decorations I had made earlier. Hey, Hana, I'm back. My face, flushed and cheery as usual, bounded into the room.
hey.
How was practice? Mai went to practice for the Asagao Strikers almost every evening. The first big game was coming up, but it was another school. I wouldn't be able to go see her play. It bothered me a lot, but I was slightly relieved not to have to witness the pyre of burning rage that was Mai playing volleyball. It was fine, but I totally struck me being the, what is all this? Maya dropped her duffel bag into her chair, surveying the mass of paper spread out along the floor with myself at the center. I didn't know we had to do arts and crafts here. I'm making flyers. Actually, would you mind helping me? It'll take me another few hours by myself. Of course. What are they for? She plopped herself down on the floor and took up one of the stick figures I made. Some books have gone missing at the library, so I figured we could put up flyers reminding people to turn theirs in on time. Oh, missing books? I tossed a few sheets of paper at her feet and then uncapped a glue stick and started attaching the images. Yeah, they've been missing since a few weeks ago, but now it's getting worse. But one of the books was just one I forgot to turn in, so I figured maybe that happened with all the books. Maya spiraled the stick figure in her hand so it looks like it was doing cartwheels. They can look up in the who has late books in the system, you know. Yeah. But maybe it'll help anyways. She grabbed a paper book and smeared glue on the back. People do forget, so maybe half can be reminders and half can be lost and found notes. Yeah, okay. Together we worked through a pile of papers each. We compared handwriting and competed to see who could make the nicest flyer. I won, of course. It reminded me of kindergarten, and it was oddly comforting. We ran out of images of books, and I was just handing Maya a permanent marker to start drawing them when she slapped her leg with the back of her hand. Oh, shoot. I totally forgot. I left something at the gym. I should go get it. Okay, hurry back. Yeah, no problem. Odd. It wasn't like Maya to forget something. Usually she only forgot something when she wanted to copy my homework. As I started on the third pile, I began to feel distinctly sad. Why? My hands still glued on the paper, a memory stirring in my mind. Back in Amaritsu, my parents ran a shop together. My dad created beautiful works of art, pottery, and ceramics, and my mom filled them with the flowers she grew. He tried to teach me how to make pots, but I could never do it. I got too nervous seeing how one mistake could completely alter what you were making. Instead, one day he came to my room with a pile of papers. He folded them, and the second a blue morning glory appeared in front of my eyes. How did you do that? Smiling, he handed me a purple paper and taught me how to fold a morning glory step by step. When I finished, we set them side by side. Mine was crumpled and stunted next to his crisp, beautiful creation. But he laughed. Separate, neither would be considered beautiful. I blinked. In front of me sat a blue morning glory, the cover of a book sticking out of one petal. Slowly, I made my way through the pile of flyers, and then onto the next. The shadows grew longer and longer until they faded altogether. When I finally finished, it was after 9, and Mai still hadn't returned. I'm done. I lay back on the floor, exhausted, and glanced at the clock. It shouldn't have taken her this long just to get to the gym. Did she run into someone? I couldn't wait up for her. I had to get up early. I cleaned up, changed into my pajamas, and crawled into my soft, cool sheets. Without my snoring, the room seemed immensely still, like the silence was trying to press itself into my skull. I hope she's okay. The room blurred and I drifted off to sleep. Ugh. What was happening? I couldn't see. My eyes wouldn't stay open. So late. Mai. She closed the door and tiptoed over to her desk. She speaks so damn loud. I turned over, vaguely angry. Too tired. Want to sleep. Rustling of paper echoed from her side of the room. Quiet. A drawer shut. Mai climbed up on her bed and the mattress over my head sagged. I glanced at the clock. It was past midnight. She only just got back? Something seemed wrong. School wasn't in session right now. What? I couldn't think straight. My head hit the pillow and I turned over, drifting off to sleep again. And that's what is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please leave a like, comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.